Hello world, Lisa Friedrichsen, your friend and computer science professor with another short screencast about Access. And this time we're going to talk about combo boxes again, but show how they can be used for a behavior to find records instead of using them to enter and edit data. So here we are back on the products form, and we have two combo boxes, and they're being used to enter and change data for that record that they're on. So every time I use the combo boxes, I'm modifying whatever record I'm on. But if I go into design view, I want to show you that combo boxes can be used in a very different way. I'm going to move these command buttons over to the right a little bit and this label over to the left in this form header, and go up to my combo box control in design view and click in the form header. Immediately the combo box wizard asks me, how do you want to use this combo box? Now the first two options are for using a combo box to enter and edit data on the record you're on. The third option is completely different. Your combo box will have a completely different behavior to find a record on the form based on the value you select in the combo box. So this is a very different behavior for the combo box, and it's important that we differentiate between them. If I click next and I choose some information for that combo box, let's choose the product name first, units in stock second. Here's the information for those two fields with their captions. I'm going to widen the product name a little bit. Next, and then what label you want for the combo box. Now, I like to make sure my users are aware that when they're using a combo box to find a record, that the label indicates what's going on. So I typically put find in all caps so that it's very clear finish. So I've resized and rearranged my controls a little bit. Here's my label, find a product, with the word find really highlighted. And here's my new combo box. Now notice that the combo box says unbound, as opposed to identifying a field name that the combo box is updating. Unbound means it's not being used for data entry. It's unbound. It's not bound to a field. If I save this form and look at it in form view, let's see how this works. Find a product. Let's find tofu. And there we go. Now we're on the tofu record 14 of 77, and I could change the supplier name or any of the other data for that record. Let's use it again. Let's find Alice Mutton. And here we go and found record 17. Let's find Boston crab meat. That's record 40. There's a couple more things that I want to change on this combo box. Let's go back to design view to be able to do that. First of all, I'm going to widen it a bit, open up its property sheet by double clicking its border, and I'm going to change that list rows from default 16 to 99 so that I can see more products at the same time. Save. Let's look at it in form view. And now when I click that drop down list, I see a lot more products. It's hard to find the products because they're not in alphabetical order. Okay, back to design view. Let's go to the data tab. We know where the source of the rows comes from the previous screencast. It comes from that row source property. And look at the control source. See how it's blank? That's why it says unbound, because this control is not being used to update data, but rather find a record. In the row source property, I can click that SQL select statement and the build button, and then put an ascending sort order in my query design view on the product name field. If I look at that in datasheet view, oh yes, that's going to be a lot easier to find my product now that they're in alphabetical order. So I'll close that datasheet view, close that query, save those changes, save the form, look at in form view, and there we go. Now my products are in alphabetical order, so they're much easier to find. Now you might have noticed that when I was in design view, when I was looking at the row source property, the product ID field was also selected, and it's hidden. And from previous screencasts, we know why it's hidden, and that is over on the Format tab. That column width, the first column is 0. The reason the wizard put that product ID field in there is because that's how we uniquely identify each product. The product ID field is the primary key field for the products table, so that's the easiest way to uniquely find a product as opposed to looking up the product name. And if we go to the Event tab, then we can really reverse engineer how this is working. On the After Update property, which means after I've chosen a new option, an embedded macro was added to that property. And if I build, I can see exactly what that macro action is doing. It's searching for a record, and here's the where condition where the product ID is coming off of that active control, which is that combo box. So save and view the form in form view, and now we're using a combo box to find records, and let's find veggie spread. And there we are on record 63 of 77. So we use this combo box to find record 63 and this combo box to change record 63. Two very distinct behaviors for a combo box, but users love both of them because they make the form so much easier, faster, and more accurate to use. Thank you.